the team that planned prior to the London Family Planning Summit 2012, where Malawi committed to actually have a budget line item for family planning. When I came back, my role was to give presentations to the Parliamentary Committee on Health, the Women Caucus, as well as the chairpersons of different parliamentary committees. And it wasn't easy. They were really asking questions, why should we actually raise it? Because about 90% of family planning budget line items were funded by our donors. So for sustainability, it was important that the government creates a budget line item.
What is the most priority thing that we are going to do when we went back to our countries? And I said, I'll make it a point that we have a budget line for family planning created. So when I came back, I knew that I cannot do that alone. So we made coalitions. The civil society, government, the parliamentarians.
As Malawi, we committed ourselves so that once we come back home, we'll make sure that the government should come up with its own position of creating a separate vote for family planning products. And that was a commitment which we are supposed to report back how much we have done as a country.
It was quite interesting after the training and then the commitment we made in the APACO meetings, that as members of parliament, and especially being women, we know the problem women are facing on issues of reproductive health, access to family planning products. And lucky enough, after our trainings, we came back, we met together and then we discussed the way forward and we gave responsibility to each other. So what we did is to meet with chairpersons of all the committee in Parliament, briefing them about what commitment we have made and also the commitment which our Vice President made during the summit. So then we lobbied with them to support us so that we should be able to come up with a budget line for family planning. And next stage we met with the Minister of Finance, and who really also accepted to do that. He said they were going to try, and then that time we gained some energy to say now we have started something.
I was responsible because as a secretariat staff, I do not actually speak in the meetings, but I'm at the background, providing the technical expertise which the members may need. And those expertise are translated well if we have got people that are knowledgeable on the issue. So the training indeed helped us to have like skills to help the members save better.
And later we had a meeting with the Minister of Health to tell us how much they spent that money on the products. We discovered that they had indeed created the vote. The monies were there, but they were not used. Then we had to tax them why they did not use the money. So we gave them the deadline to ensure that they should use that money to buy the products. When we followed with the people who were working in the ministry, especially in the reproductive health, we were happy to hear that they had used the money to buy the products.
The officials from Ministry of Health, they committed to say the budget would move from 25 million to 60 million. This was during one of the advocacy meetings we were conducting. And I remember that was like March 2014. And when the budget was presented to Parliament in May 2014, the budget had zero increase.
This can take us very far also. So I think it's quite important. We really need it to continue and even increase the number of intake of women to this training. At the same time, let it also come to the local level, whereby we should have those training right away.
I promise to give a slot to the women leaders in the family planning subcommittee, so that once you have anything to share, we'll give you forum.
So the leadership skills that I acquired in DC helped me become the leader I am today. That time I was the only employee of Futures Group leading the health policy project. But with me, the project has grown and we have a very big portfolio in Malawi. And I was promoted to become the director of the project and the organization. So I attribute everything to the skills that I gained from the leadership trainings.
Especially leadership, now I'm a leader. I was an MP, but now I'm a minister. You know, those skills, they have taken me in advance, another stage. How should I behave as a leader who is a senior now? It has really helped me, and it has helped the nation at all. I would really like to thank you for imparting your skills to me. I'm a changed person, and indeed I'm a champion.
But it has changed our lives.